Unlucky street numbers. Do they make money or lose you money? Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you?
Cold. How are you?
9 degrees.
Oh my goodness! And the wind. It's Arctic winds outside.
Yeah, my daughter's out there playing soccer this morning, soccer training, poor little thing.
Oh no, nothing worse.
Too cold.
No. Oh, you
Now,
go
now
skip-
is this a bunch of rubbish? When there's a house that's selling for 666 on a main road, or a house that's a number 4, does it get less? If it's a house number 8, does it get more? Is it cursed? What do you reckon?
I think. I don't know. I think there is enough superstition around it that it does affect buyers' opinions about a property. I personally wouldn't care if a house was number 13 or 666, but I did find that in America, in an American study, there were 32% of people that wouldn't buy a house because of the street number. So if it was 13 or the devil's number or number 4 in some cultures.
So whether it's real or not real, it's considered and it has an effect.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think numbers is a huge thing. And this is something that was quite new to me, that numbers have a lot of meaning in real estate, and it can actually impact the price of how much your property sells for or doesn't sell for.
And what cottoned you onto this story? Was it Mr. Sillage?
Yeah, it was Mr. Sillage. I was making up some assets for an auction with numbers for the bidders cards, and Mr. Sillage was telling me that I couldn't have the number 13, I couldn't have the number 4. I was like, what numbers can I have? Like, it seems like all of them are out of the picture. But in Chinese culture in particular, 8 is a really lucky number because it sounds like the word for wealth in Chinese, whereas 4 is unlucky because it sounds like the word for death. So that's why 8 is a really lucky number. 13 in Western cultures isn't very popular, like Friday the 13th. I think that's where that one comes from. But yeah, I found out there are only a few numbers that you can really use in real estate.
Now, this is going even as far as levels of buildings. So now there's buildings in the world and in the Sydney CBD where they actually delete all of the units, and even the level 13 or the level 4. So you wouldn't actually know, but there's actually no one in the building that lives on level 4, or there's no one in the building that lives on level 13. They've simply just deleted those levels.
Yeah, well, I was looking up yesterday that only 5% of high rises in New York have a level 13. So 95% of all the big skyscrapers you see in New York City, none of them have a level 13, which I found really interesting.
So how do they do that? They just pretty much I guess you just go from 7 to 9 and nobody knows. No one will ever know.
Yeah, it goes like 11, 12, 14, and I don't think anyone would ask any questions.
No one asks any questions. And you know what's weird? A lot of lifts these days, they actually don't have the numbers to press. You nominate what level you're going to when you get in the lift. So you actually never see that there is no 13 in the building because you don't see. Do you know what I mean? You don't see them. So I think as the new generation comes through, they probably won't even realise that there is no 13 in a building or there is no 4 in a building because you don't get the benefit of having all the numbers to press anymore in the new lift.
You get the pads and you don't get the satisfaction of pressing all the buttons and then running out of lift.
So that's true. And tell me, how much do you reckon less these numbers are worth on a property? If it's a property that's got number 666, property that's got number 444, how much less?
Well, I was reading yesterday, and there was some that was saying that, well, even there's other superstitions, like when Mercury retrograde was mentioned in some of the research I did, but it could sell for like 20 to 50K less depending on the numbers. And also, yeah, astrological like meanings play a big factor in real estate for some buyers as well. But it does, I think it's something to consider, because if you have control over the numbers and even changing them slightly or changing the branding around it, like if you lived in a house that was 666/13 a unit, like I feel like you could sort of rebrand that in a way where you're targeting a niche market who would probably be into those numbers, rather than eliminating half your market that are really superstitious about those.
Yeah, and I think also there's superstition, and it's also to make it easy as well. So what actually really shits me with unit block numbers is when someone says 2 to 10 Maramba Avenue DY, and I'm like, just pick a number. You're obviously you're a building block that's built over 4 blocks, or 4 blocks of land, right?
Yeah.
Just pick one of them. Call it number 8. Maramba. Why do you have to be 2 to 10? Because then for the rest of everyone's life that lives in those units, you have to write 2 to 10. So if you can do one digit, which is a lucky number, which is 8, as opposed to 2-104 characters, replacing one character with 4 characters, that's a lucky character. A lot of developers are considering this now when they're doing stuff. I know Meriton and DY was called 888 Pittwater Road. DY, when it actually truly had about 20 street numbers, instead of them saying 860 to 900 Pittwater Road, he just chose 888. So that's
Yeah.
what we're seeing developers do more and more, and it's fortuitous to have all those 8s was just great.
Yeah, and it doesn't really impact, like I'm thinking about, like if you're getting mail, it's still going to go to the same building. I'd love to see units with animal icons at every level.
How do you explain that to the postman?
I'm thinking like astrological signs.
I guess we don't. But then again, I guess the postman, you don't need to know what level you're on. But with friends, you have to be saying it's tiger.
Yeah.
No, that sounds really confusing. That sounds really confusing. Now, with numbers also, this can extend. It's very important and relevant in real estate. It's relevant with phone numbers. When they're rounded numbers, people do. We were talking off air about people reducing the number as well. So often people will reduce the number to reduce just a single digit. Whatever that single digit is regarded as lucky or unlucky. So this may be really foreign to someone out there who's like doesn't care, give a shit about numbers. And some people will be going, I know, I'm the same. So to give you an idea, the number, if you're 12 can reduce to 1 plus 2, reduce to 3. 3 to some is regarded as a lucky number. 8 to some is regarded as a lucky number. 4 to some is regarded as an unlucky number. 1, I know people that regard as a lucky number. The luckiest number would be 8 that people would regard in real estate. And then what's your lucky number?
Mine's 5.
5.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Everyone's got one.
Yeah. And it's different across everyone and cultures as well. So like 13 in Italy is considered a lucky number, but 17 is probably their version of 13. So it's all very
Unbelievable.
different.
Well, that's right. I think the Italians do that, which is like that was like the, I don't know, something like you think they do,
Like the
but
devil.
some call that the devil. Yeah.
It's like a shadow.
Yeah, they've got the gold. They wear gold chains with that sign on it. Italians.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's
So
another.
lucky numbers. So lucky numbers today. It's real. It can affect your value. Be careful. Consider it. reduce to one. If you're developers, don't do silly numbers on blocks. Have a think about, what street number you can be giving the property, because you've got the option to call it what you want. What else?
Well, I was reading up, and apparently to help you sell your property, you can buy a statue of Saint Joseph, because apparently he's a patron saint of real estate, amongst other things. And if you bury him in your backyard, it helps you sell your property for more.
Patron saint of Joseph.
Yeah, and you can get these little statues, and they have instructions about how to do a prayer to him once you bury him.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's one thing that kept coming up, that a lot of people have found statues in their backyard, and they've been like, "What's this?" And so apparently it helps you sell your property quicker.
It's like, what does he look like, I wonder?
It's a cute little, I've seen photos, it's a cute little
Patron
statue.
saint of Saint Joseph. What's that look what he looks like?
Yeah.
Is that him, Saint Joseph?
Saint Joseph, the patron saint state of real estate.
Well, I think he's that one in Saint Joseph is a dreamer. There you go.
Wealth and prosperity.
There he is, Saint Joseph. So if you put this little guy in the patron saint, Saint Joseph, in your backyard, that's lucky. Now, another thing, selling for a lucky number or buying for a lucky number happens as well.
Yeah.
So I've got clients that want to finish the deal on an 8. I've got clients that want to put an asking price of 888. So they'll say $599,888.
Yeah, well, it's 8. I think if we've learned one thing from today, it's that 8 is, I think, the holy number in real estate. But even if your property, if you're selling something for $990, maybe consider selling it for $998. Like, even having it as the last number before 3 zeros is still considered lucky.
Do you know what? It's also a bit of fun.
It is, and it's eye-catching.
I think it's a bit of fun. If you've considered it, thought about it, having fun about it, and puts a smile on your face, they're going to put a smile on other people's faces as well, because some will click. Most won't, but some will. That's worth it, even if it's one person that puts a smile on their face.
Yeah. And I think everyone's got their own little superstitions. So like I think there was some African cultures, and they paint the front of their house blue to ward away ghosts, because ghosts see the blue and think it's water and they can't cross into the home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch, like red doors are really good. Red's another thing that's a really lucky color in a lot of different cultures.
I see a red door and I want it painted black.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah. But so superstition in real estate. Any other ones you got for us?
Oh, I think in Irish culture, when you move into a new home, you're not meant to leave. You have to leave the same way you came in for the first time you're in the property, because that'll bring you good luck in the future. So if you step inside, you can't go straight outside. You have to go back out and then back in.
I don't mind that. Now, feng shui. Talk about superstition.
Yes. That's a huge one. And I think I think it's more of like a aesthetic thing as well, more than superstition. Like all I know about it is like the way you arrange furniture in a property is really important. Like, as well as just, you don't want to have something in your way as you're trying to go into the backyard from the...
Look where.
Oh my gosh!
It's Mum.
Oh my God, it's Commander. Hello.
It's Commander. It's Patterson number 3.
You've got a superstition, I'm sure.
What's your superstition?
Superstition. Oh. I know, putting the sign, you have to, when you sell the house, you have to put the sign.
Oh, that's a good one.
Not down.
Can you explain that one?
So when you sell the house, when you put the sold sign, it has to be pointing up to the right.
I reckon that's a good one. Because when I see real estate agent sold signs, when when I see real estate agent sold signs and they're down, as in they're facing downwards, I think it's negative. When I see a sold sign going upwards, I think that's like
That's one of the first things I learned
that's a
working
positive sold. There you go. Thanks,
here.
Kimbo.
Bye.
See ya. You look like you were scared just then.
I know. Hold on. I think I've got another guest at the door. Look,
Another
Commander's
what?
here now.
How did you do that? How did you do that? Transported her. Oh, it's funny. All right, great show, relevant stuff. Keep an eye for it, guys. I hope we've educated the people that are not that were interested in a little bit of superstition, and thank you. And you selected this one, Nat, today, and it's a crack. It was a cracker of a topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Have a good one.
See you later. Bye.
See you.